Yo, what's up, guys? It's Daryl Jace for Change the Y. Kind of just doing a random video. And I'm just going to be pretty random and tangential. And I guess I just want to talk about introspection, knowing yourself, and what motivates you. I think also what you're good at, where your skills lie, where your interests lie. I think people say do what you're passionate about, but if you want to find your passion, you have to understand where your skill sets lie and where your interests kind of lie. So you can take something that's really interesting to you. So, say poker. Obviously I choose poker. And approach it in a way that's just really not towards your strengths. Really not geared towards your strength. Just really unnatural to you. And you could just really hate the game because of that. Really not enjoy it, or just kind of do it just to get by. But if you approach it from strength, it would be a different story. And I can't prove this, but I feel like everything you learn, everything you do, every skill has a different component to it. That there are, imagine this point is like the GTO, that circle. It's like the GTO, right? That's like the highest level of success, we'll say. And I think there's all these different points to it, leading to it, this way, that way, up, down, left, right. And imagine all these points are different types of skills, different types of intelligences. So yeah, I feel like everything you want to learn, you can approach it from a different way and still arrive near that same point of success. And I mean, it could be your own kind of predetermined idea of success, you know, which kind of makes it your path, which makes it, so slow battery, makes it your path. That's why your path would be different than others. And I want to encourage you guys to find that. Find that thing that motivates you, that you're good at. Everyone's good at something. I know some pretty shitty people, and I can see the types of intelligences they have, that, that almost everyone's good at everything, at something. Everyone has a certain kind of intelligence that they gravitate towards, that they are not excel at, but pretty decent at, have some kind of skill at. And I encourage you to use that and figure out what that is. A lot of you probably feel like you're not good enough, or what you're good at isn't important enough, isn't enough to get you there. You won't get good enough, you can't get good enough. And the thing is, that's not the case. I don't believe I think it would be naive to believe that, if you want to get into physics, that you'll be the Einstein of the 21st century. Probably not. Just like if I wanted to play in the NBA, I'm probably not going to be as good as LeBron James. But perhaps if I started as a kid, I could have made the NBA. Or at least made some kind of profession out of it and gotten by. So, I mean, there's a limit, but I feel like unless you have a severe mental handicap, that you can achieve happiness and success in life or whatever it is you want to do. And it's very difficult. There's so many ways to view life, ways to approach it. There's so many counterpoints to the ideas I'm talking about and kind of expounding on today. Ones that I'm aware of, and probably like even more that I'm not, you know? Like, for example, I always believe that you should just, that going after your passion was the key to success, which it is, but the causal factor, perhaps, is approaching something more towards your strength. At least that's kind of my new view on it. Maybe in a year from now, 2 years from now, my view will change. So, I guess don't take anything I say as gospel. I'm kind of just offering different perspectives. I learned a lot taking in new perspectives, especially very diverse, different ones. Looking at life in so many different ways, looking at poker in so many different ways. It's very interesting to me. It's very helpful to me. A big thing that interests me is just learning as much as I can about everything. And by everything, I mean everything. Like, if I want to learn something, if I want to learn education, I want to approach it in every way possible. Like, I got into neuroscience, and I got into, the mental health aspect of it. Then I got into, no particular order. Then I got into, the psychological aspect of it, the storytelling aspect of it, the flow state aspect of it, the social communication aspect of it. I say the mental health, the actual physical health aspect of it, how nutrition and fitness, affect it. Sorry if I'm repeating myself. I got through the spiritual aspect of education, meditation and introspection. And then there's a whole bunch of different subcategories of education. I went through, just people with basic ideas on how people learn. Then I got into kind of deep philosophical stuff on how people think. I got into philosophical stuff on how education should be created. I got into stuff on, creating revolutions and starting revolutions, and that was education. And kind of just bounced from idea to idea. And I think a great tragedy is to go through life not knowing how beautiful and interesting the world is. most people go through life, I think, without really understanding that. Really, like, on any type of level, just how interesting the world is, that how interesting meditation is, and being able to quiet your mind and going into, just these kind of euphoric states, being able to look into oneself and just understand yourself so deeply and change things about yourself. And so interesting to use meditation to just enjoy such simple things in life, like the rain or mundane tasks. Or, for example, psychology, understanding why people do what they do, understanding their problems, why do they have them, what makes people happy, what makes people successful. So interesting, reading about people's lives, people's stories, what they went through, what they overcame, all the pain, all the sadness, all the kind of trials, tribulations, the progression. But being able to kind of just watch a movie and just be completely immersed, Game of Thrones, just seeing, what a masterpiece that is, in my opinion. The show, more so than the book. Listening to music and just completely connecting with it. Completely or rather just being able to release that emotion that you've been holding inside from it, being able to escape from your troubles and just listen to music and just dance and let go, be free, just be completely in the moment. The way music can touch you, the way music can enlighten you, the way music can set you free. So beautiful. And just all the interesting people out there in the world who kind of just do amazing things. Guys like Joe Rogan, Tim Ferriss, Elliot Hulse, some poker players I look up to as well. The whole, everything on philosophy, that whole side is just so interesting, how smart people are and can break things down, how enlightening it is to break it down, how interesting it is. And perhaps it's not for you to be interested in everything. I'm moving about in this chair like a boss. I was watching, it's an interesting contrast, I was watching, what was that guy's name? What was his name? Some guy who, teaches you how to be successful on YouTube. And he's just, doing his videos in his garage, and he has, a Ferrari and a Lamborghini. I'm doing it in a fucking basement on this broken spinning chair that's 5 years old at 2 a.m. because I can't fucking sleep. This is fun though. And yeah, much more. I don't want to tangent anymore. Kind of just made my point. And I guess if you don't feel like that, you have the problem of how do you feel like that, or do you even want to feel like that about the world? Do you want to feel like the world is a beautiful place and be interested in so many things? And I used to be like that for sure. I was only interested in poker. It's the only interest of my life, poker, and that was basically it. I mean, in my relationships with, either friends or whatever, kind of just social activities, but not on any type of hobby. I never didn't have any other hobbies or other things. And my path to it was kind of just exploring. A lot of exploring. A lot of fucking frustration. Going from one thing to the next, nothing sticking. And, eventually I just found things that were important to me. Even though I picked them up and dropped them down, they kind of just stood important. And I guess going back to why it was frustrating was because it's just hard to just constantly pick something up, drop it down, pick something up, drop it down, feeling like a loser. I remember going through periods where I would just give up and just go on YouTube and just watch, like, random fucking videos with no content at all. Just random bullshit. And not really enjoying it. Just kind of giving up on life. Gave up a few times. And I remember this one moment, and my memory's fucking shit, so I'm kind of like talking really slow, then just like boom, just like blast and talk really loud, so apologize. But anyways, my memory's shit, I should preface with that, so it's really hard for me to remember things, a lot of things in life. And I have this memory of, I was just reading something, and I was at a poker table at some cash game in Southie, slumming it, like 1-2 game, perhaps 2-5, if I was balling it up, and I always had my iPad back then, because I'm playing 1-2, 2-5, and it's either, watch some shit on the iPad, or play cash games and kill myself from boredom, or just spew off money, or just not go. And I kind of needed to go. Needed the money. I'm so tangential. It's so bad. Anyways. I'm reading about Nikola Tesla. He's a pretty interesting guy. You may know him, like, for the... Never mind, I didn't want to butcher that. I'm not going to butcher that. But anyways, I'm reading the wiki about him. And the guy looks over, he's like, why are you reading that? Like, what are you trying to get out of that? Like, you just couldn't see the purpose at all. And at the time, I didn't really have an answer. I'm just like, I gave some answer to try and give it purpose, and, it wasn't a very good answer. It wasn't a very inspiring answer, but, it was a very shitty answer. And I guess why it stuck out to me is because I do it for the exact same reason that I watch football, or the exact same reason I play basketball. And that's because I enjoy it. I really do. Not everyone is going to enjoy taking in information the way I do, just reading some Wikipedia page. But, that's kind of goes back to finding your own thing, your own way. So, there's plenty of ways to learn. And I guess people just don't have that mindset towards learning. And, it's a shame. I think it's because of school mostly. If you go to school and you're kind of forced to learn shit you hate, you learn that shit that learning is fucking boring and terrible, and you get out of school, you're like, fuck yes, I'm going to learn again. I'm going to do any more of that fucking learning anymore. I'm trying to get comfortable with this thing. So, that's kind of just how people view things. There's the only reason you would do it is just to get some kind of end out of it, and enjoyment would definitely not be that end. Like, that was never an idea that crossed his mind, that I could be enjoying this. So, I guess that's a big problem right there, and probably not a problem if you made it through 20 minutes of this video. Especially me kind of droning on and tangenting and looking down at times, and perhaps this isn't the best video. Anyways, I think that's a pretty important aspect. I think the second important aspect is money. If you're like me, you have kids, you have relationships, you have family, you have bills and debts and errands, countless errands that just keep adding up and adding up and adding up. And it's hard to find time in the day. It's hard to make time for it. It's hard to find energy in the day. It's hard to spend time just learning something, just doing something you enjoy, in quotation marks. I hate people who use quotation marks, but I do that now, so I'm one of those douchebags. And, hold on, lost myself. Another tangent, random tangent. And, yeah, so people just don't have time, right? Man, if you made it through this video, I have to give you a clap, because that takes discipline to just make it through these pauses and these lapses. Thank you. Appreciate it. Um, oh man. So, getting them out of that state is quite difficult, because there's this very real problem. If you have, $1,000 to your name, $2,000 to your name, your expenses are like $5,000, and you got like $9,000 in debt, and all these errands, and kids' classes, and schools, and food, and all that shit. It's very hard to find time. It's very hard to find energy. It's very hard to find money. We need all three of these things. So it's kind of like this three-pronged approach. If we had more time, more energy, more money, we would have the chance to do this.